Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Innovation and Technology Committee, I'm here to talk about some of AILA's recent efforts to engage with USCIS and the DHS Ombudsman about USCIS innovation and technology and how that will affect AILA members going forward. We got the opportunity to engage with USCIS when last spring we convened a group of immigration technology companies and together with them wrote a letter to USCIS asking to have input into their digitization efforts. As members may know, USCIS has been asked to move all of their processing to an electronic-only environment within 5 years by Congress, and they recently reported to Congress on their progress. We thought it was really important for USCIS to have the voice of the customer in that process, and we wanted to make sure that we were engaging with them and providing the perspective both of immigration lawyers, immigration advocates, applicants, petitioners, and the immigration technology companies that we rely on to prepare applications as they architect and develop the systems that we're going to have to use. In December of 2021, we had the opportunity to hear from the highest level of leadership at USCIS in the technology space, when the Chief Information Officer and Chief Technology Officer of USCIS both gave presentations at the AILA Tech Summit. Bill McElhinney, the CIO, presented the digital business integration strategy that USCIS has. They have been preparing for an all-digital processing environment for a number of years. Those of us in the field have not seen as much of the process because USCIS has been making the necessary changes to the back-end systems that will allow them to move to an electronic-only processing environment. That work has not gone as quickly as some had hoped, but the service does feel that it has a strategy that is working for it, and they have been building on the successes that they've had with some of the smaller applications that they process. And they've also begun to focus their technology efforts in different spaces, such as automating all of the case intake process, and then moving forward, automating case processing and identity management and the processes of notifying applicants. So we should see changes begin to happen in some of these areas, even on paper-filed cases, as the service moves these efforts forward. We also heard from Rob Brown, the Chief Technology Officer, who really emphasized that USCIS is trying to build a self-service infrastructure where applicants and their lawyers can get information from USCIS systems on their own, and where case management information, for example, can be combined with USCIS case processing time so that applicants and petitioners and their lawyers can get a better idea of when they can expect USCIS to be making decisions. This will continue to be architected around USCIS's ELIS system that they have been developing for several years, but will also be expanding beyond ELIS to systems to provide end-to-end electronic processing of immigration benefits. USCIS recently reported to Congress on these efforts, and you can read those efforts in their report to Congress, which is posted on AILA Infinite and on the USCIS website. They have committed to have those electronic processes in place by the end of 2026. A couple of weeks ago, the Technology and Innovation Committee, along with what is called the Technology Advisory Group, were able to meet with the USCIS Ombudsman from the Department of Homeland Security. That office is responsible for looking out for broad efficiencies and problems in the immigration system and making recommendations to USCIS as to how they can improve their processes. They were interested in gathering information from both attorneys and advocates, as well as from technology company representatives, about how some of these technology pieces were going to need to work, and to make available to USCIS the resources, knowledge, and understanding of people who've been working in the immigration technology space for many, many years. We were able to talk with them about how an API, an automated interchange of data between the case management systems that we lawyers use and the systems that USCIS is going to use could be structured and might work. We presented to them that having common agreement and the industry, along with government partners, sitting down to develop standardized languages and security protocols were really critical to make these kinds of technology changes and to have them adopted on a wide basis. We also presented them with information about important barriers to adoption that USCIS is going to need to consider, including considerations of English as a second language folks, people who are unrepresented being able to access these technologies, people who do not have access to technology as easily, still being able to interface with the service in an in-person or a by-mail way. And we were able to talk with them a bit about the kinds of needs for ongoing communications and technical support that we think the agency has to have in place if they are going to have some of these electronic systems in place. So what's the takeaway here? I think we are very positively received by the agency. We have partners who are interested in engaging with us and having systems that work and are adopted broadly by immigration lawyers and by people applying for immigration benefits. And I think we are going to see over the course of the next 3 to 4 years an increased number of rollouts of electronic only processing by USCIS. So all of us need to be ready for that. And we here at AILA will be happy to continue to work and get you the best information you can for your practices. Thank you.